I don't want you guys to go to these places disillusioned. And also, I don't want you guys to run away from your reality thinking that your answers are necessarily in some foreign country. In my experience, most of these passport bros, they're lames.
Bro, I think I'm in love.
With who?
With this girl, her name is Yoseris. She said she really likes me. She said I was different from all the other tourists that come here, bro.
Dude, I promise you, she is saying that to every American that comes through here.
Nah, bro, this is different. This is real, bro. She keep calling me Poppy.
She's just trying to get money out of you.
A few happy years ago, Richie Mack, Zoom to Thailand, was talking about how it was easy for him to be at peace with a woman he liked living with. It may still be. But by the same token, people are now talking about how in Thailand it's over because you got these unschooled simp ninjas making dumb mistakes.
I promise you, she said.
Nah, bro, she got her own job. She said she's a chapeadora.
Bro, that means like a gold digger, dude. That's what that means.
Nah, bro, I don't think she works in the mines, dog.
There's no way you're this stupid.
This is why I said things I said years ago. Remember a few months ago, really, Thailand wasn't that big an issue. It was Colombia and Brazil because of the drugging and robbing, even if you weren't going down there just trying to clap some cheeks. I said this before.
There's no
Got a cute little nickname for me too. She called me Puta. This might be the one, bro.
I promise you, not every girl that calls you Poppy is the one.
Now, it's not Thailand that is where you get drugged and robbed, but now, simply put, the dating you guys sought was ruined. And what is the reason? Because, well, you can walk up to just about any one of them, especially in Pattaya, and on the side, as they hustle, they're selling some.
All right, bro, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the ATM.
For what?
Marisol needs a retainer, bro. Her teeth f***ed up.
Who the fuck Marisol?
Her daughter. Well, I guess she's my daughter now, too.
Jesus Christ, this is why I cannot take you anywhere, bro.
I'm just trying to be a good dad, bro. That's it.
Salute to Jet Black. I think there are a wide variety of points of view that we can have on the Passport Bros issue. His particular point of view is to go overseas to find yourself a mate, a wife. But because there is a spectrum and we're all free to do as we please, it is one point of view. But he's speaking from his point of view for a specific reason. And you're going to hear it in this story here.
A man in Medellin walked up to two women and said, how much? And they gave this price for both. They said for both of them. He said, well, how much is that? And she said, about $200. And then he said, for ice cream? And they looked at the ice cream they were eating and looked back at him and looked at each other. And then he said, what did you think? Oh my God. And he walked off. He recorded this. Now he may have trolled them. Maybe that was how he set it up from jump. But the point is he didn't know them and he walked up to them and they said $200 or some large number of pesos.
I was in Austria, okay? And if you guys know, 304 is illegal in Austria. They have these buildings full of 304s selling box for a price.
He's talking about the red light district, and he's the fact that you see the women through the windows, and if you go inside, you guys can negotiate and you pay. Let's see where this goes.
You can even get them delivered to you, okay? I got one delivered to me.
I told you he's a trick. I told you he's a trick. All this yapping about why would you ever even have to pay for it?
You're gonna base your experience on you.
I told you this guy's a trick, bro.
The days of the Richie Cunningham sock hop is over, and we have to come to understand that dating is no more like this. In fact, we're now in an era where Sexyy Red releases a song with the international pop star Bruno Mars titled Fat, Juicy, and Wet. And in the song, a search for a P word that refers to a part of the female anatomy is used 15 times. This is a song that is going to either play on the radio, I'm too old, I mentioned the radio, or is going to be playing in heavy rotation on Spotify, and many young kids are going to hear a substitute word, if not the actual word itself. From junior high school, young kids are being taught that this is the way you date, that your sexuality is your prize as young ladies, and you date with a price on it. And it's unfair to men in the dating market hearing this kind of culture to tell them to date in an old school way. You have to adapt.
You're gonna base your experience on a sex worker. What did she say? Ooh, me love you long time. I really want to see BBC. Like, she's working, my guy. It's like going to a bar and saying like, oh man, the bartender really likes me. No, she's being polite and she can't leave. She works there.
The problem with the position that Abba and Preach are taking is that they're not young guys in the modern dating market. They're established guys that either are already married or they're making large sums of money from YouTube, and everyone that they bump into knows who they are. The truth is, an overwhelming number of men are unattractive, and that number is continuing to grow, and a smaller and smaller group of men are deemed attractive. Some 80% of men are deemed unattractive on dating apps. So the question is, are all of those guys lame? There are some people that are okay with quote unquote tricking or paying for a young lady. As for myself,
can you marry a woman that earns more than you?
I will never.
I'm being a bit facetious, and as I grow and my perspectives widen, I could see circumstances where I would consider doing that, tricking quote unquote. That said, I'm an Xer. I grew up in an era where I had a romantic relationship with every young lady that I was with. We held hands, we dated each other, we went to dates. But let's say that you're a guy coming into a market where those girls are listening to Sexyy Red and they're monetizing dating. They're monetizing the whole experience. There's really no other way to go except to try and find a way to get the best quote unquote bang for your buck. Something that Abba and Preach really should try to understand in their point of view and their position.
Keep in mind now, I live in Brazil and I've been living overseas 14 years.
Okay, I can say this just from limited watching this guy. This guy's a dork. He does not get the women that he pretends. And most of my experience, especially considering this guy's selling a lifestyle, he probably paying for. If you go on YouTube, you'll find videos of black dudes who go over there thinking it's wide open or whatever. And we're not interested. Why? People have a dream, okay? And the dream is, my life here in the United States or America or the West sucks. Women here don't want me, so I'm gonna go where I'm appreciated. Not realizing if you're a lame in North America, you're a lame over there too. You're not gonna become any less of a weirdo because you go over there.
Here's where the problem comes in with the Abba and Preach perspective. They're saying if you're lame where you are, you're gonna be a lame where you go. But what happens again if 80% of the men are lame? And them getting dates or finding any kind of romantic connection is getting more and more difficult. What are the answers? What's the solution to those men? And that's where I have a problem with Abba and Preach. Because it's very easy in their position. They can boot up a video and they can pay a college tuition with what they get in the amount of revenue from one video. So there's a monetary reason for them to find a guy who is easy to castigate like Skylar and say, oh, he's a trick, blah, blah, blah. What they don't do is take the time to give an answer that is away from what Skylar is suggesting. Especially when you have Sexyy Red singing a song bragging about the dimensions and situation of her moneymaker. Guys are trying to date in that dating market, and Abba and Preach don't provide any solutions. If you listen to Abba speak in his video, he said several times the term get girls. If you can't get girls, you're lame. That is a thinking that has permeated the landscape of you have to be a certain type of guy to be worthy of a woman's attention. And if you do it that way, then you take it to the next degree. What if you're not the guy that's tall or dressed a certain way or has the mannerisms that draws attention from a lot of girls? The next step is, well, if you want to get that girl, you got to pay for her and she's going to charge you for her attention. And so after a couple of generations of guys learn that, they're just taking it overseas with them and they're being castigated on the first end because they're not attractive enough. And on the second end, when they do something that's trying to fulfill their desire, they're saying, well, you're still lame and you're paying for it. It's a double no-win. And this is where my man Black Mind is going to knock this out of the park.
Now it's Thailand. Ancient culture, different, and generally it's been safe, but it's not that they're drugging and robbing yet. I understand that, but you're creating a market in which they will start to doing that at some point, because guess what? No matter where you go, women talk. That's why it is that you must vet them and make them earn Just like you have to earn, which is fine, you must make them earn.
The beauty of that statement is that for Xers and maybe even older millennials, we can handle that task. We've understood that if you get your money together and have an attitude with women that I don't need you. You can be a part of my life, but if you're not going to be an addition that's going to help me go somewhere, I'm fine. I'll rent women, which is essentially the argument that Skylar is making. I'll rent young ladies because that's what he chooses to do. It's not my personal preference, but in a dating market where he's facing what he's seeing and the young ladies are listening to Sexyy Red, I would have to say that he has a pretty darn good point. If the young ladies are saying, you got to pay for me to be in your presence, okay, well then I'll rent. And that's what younger generations are learning. Now, the truth is, if you carry that overseas, you're going to change the environment overseas, which is why I say take the time, learn the language, and then you can connect with people on a more real level, and you give yourself a better chance of just finding someone that's just going to be in love with you because of who you are in that particular situation. That aside, though, guys are trying to figure out this answer to this really difficult question. How can I find someone to be with me and live my life together? And everyone in the West, particularly young ladies, are saying, well, there's an entry fee to love. And if there's an entry fee to love, oh, well, yeah, but that's just for the guys who are lame, because the guy that I'm turned on by, he can come anytime he wants, and I'm going to hope that he marries me. And if he doesn't marry me, he's a dog. And the guy that's cleaning up after that has to deal with all of that emotional trauma, and he has to pay. And you can understand why guys, smart guys like Skylar, who see the question for what it is, say, well, if I got to pay, then I'm going to pay for premium. It's not my point of view, but it's a point of view that guys should understand when they're looking at younger guys enter this dating market, and Sexyy Red is singing the love songs instead of Boys to Men. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.